My name is Michael DiGiacomo. I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Western District of New York. Today, a federal jury in the Western District here convicted Hadi Matar of attempting to provide material support to a terrorist organization, act of terrorism transcending national borders, and providing material support to a terrorist organization. And today's conviction stems from Hadi Matar's attack on author Salman Rushdie on August 12th, 2022 at the Chautauqua Institute. That day, Mr. Rushdie was about to begin a speech and/or presentation to members at the Chautauqua Institute when Mr. Matar came across the stage and viciously attacked him with a knife, causing serious injuries to Mr. Rushdie throughout his body, including the loss of his right eye. As a result of that, he was charged with the crimes which I just described. And the evidence established at trial today, or this past week, is that Matar acted on what we believe was a fatwa that had been put on Mr. Rushdie, put out on Mr. Rushdie back in 1989 after Mr. Rushdie published his book, Satanic Verses. Today's conviction result in the following potential maximum penalties. Count 1 subjects Mr. Matar to a maximum sentence of 20 years. Count 2 subjects him to a maximum sentence of life imprisonment, and that particular count requires that sentence for that particular charge to run consecutive to his current state court conviction. And count 3 carries 15 years to life. Throughout the trial, I know some of you were there throughout, but the evidence established that sometime in 2020, Mr. Matar became interested in Mr. Rushdie. Then over the next 18 months, his focus began to kill Mr. Rushdie. And then he began to start taking steps, more affirmative steps, the evidence established, to plan the attack in 2022. And again, on August 10th, 2022, he traveled from New Jersey to Buffalo on a bus, then took a lift out towards the Chautauqua Institute, spent the night, and then the following days later, on the 12th, he attacked Mr. Rushdie, causing the injuries that he did. This conviction today establishes my office's commitment to pursuing those who commit acts of terrorism here in the Western District of New York. My office will continue to do so with the support and assistance of the FBI and any other federal agency that gets involved in these investigations. And today's conviction was a long time in coming because the acts of Mr. Rushdie stem back to 2022, and we're now in 2026. But that just shows you the relentless pursuit my office has to making sure individuals who conduct and engage in conduct like this are pursued, prosecuted, and convicted. So with that, I will turn it over to the special agent in charge for Buffalo. I believe he has a couple things he would like to say, and then I will turn it over to the rest of you for questions.
Thank you, U.S. Attorney DiGiacomo. Good afternoon. I'm Alan Davis, Special Agent in charge of FBI Buffalo's Field Division. Today, a federal jury found Hadi Matar guilty of multiple federal terrorism offenses stemming from his attempted murder of Salman Rushdie. This verdict is about more than one individual. It is about holding accountable someone who attempted to commit an act of terrorism in support of a terrorist organization. The evidence presented in the trial showed this attack was not spontaneous. It was deliberate. It was researched. It was planned. It was motivated by violent extremist ideology. For more than a year, the defendant researched a decades-old fatwa, communicated with individuals overseas about carrying it out, and embraced the propaganda and symbols of Hezbollah before traveling to Western New York to commit this violent act. That is exactly the type of threat that FBI Buffalo's Joint Terrorism Task Force are built to identify and investigate. Terrorism takes many forms. Whether it's directed from overseas or inspired by a foreign terrorist organization, one fact remains the same. Violence intended to intimidate, silence, or spread fear has no place in Western New York. The defendant's target was one man, but the attack was also directed at something much larger. It was attack on free expression. It was an attack on freedom that our Constitution protects. Today's verdict demonstrates that those who embrace terrorism and seek to carry out acts of violence in its name will be relentlessly pursued and brought before the justice system. I want to recognize the extraordinary investigative work of FBI Buffalo's Joint Terrorism Task Force, the U.S. Attorney's Office of Western District of New York for their outstanding prosecutorial efforts that led to today's guilty verdict. Above all, the FBI's mission remains clear. We will work to continue every day to counter the violent extremism and ensure that those who threaten our communities are held accountable. Thank you.
I'll open it up to any questions.
Verdict comes less than 3 hours of the deliberations. Talk about what seemed to be a pretty obvious case for the jury to figure out.
Well, I mean, obviously the jury, again, this was a collaborative effort, and the evidence that was, we felt, the evidence that was put before the jury was overwhelming. And you hear often we say when we address juries is, when you come here, you don't check your common sense at the door. And all the evidence that my team put on, Mr. Crewley, who's standing to the right of me, was part of that team. Mr. Lynch, who's not available at the moment. They did a fantastic job of laying out the story. A story that they put together along with the FBI that put all the pieces together. So they, in essence, built the puzzle and left it complete, I believe, for the jury to reach the decision that they reached in such a short period of time.
If you can talk about just having Salman Rushdie himself testify, the importance of hearing it from the man who the fatwa is still open on him.
It's very moving to have a victim to come in and testify, and then someone like Mr. Rushdie, who was brave enough to come forth and relive those events of nearly 4 years ago, and did it. He did it very methodically, and he answered every question, both by my office and the defense. And he did a fantastic job in doing that. It's very powerful. And at the end, at some point, Mr. Rushdie removed his glasses so the jury could see the extent of the injury to his eye, that he no longer has vision in. That's very moving and very powerful testimony from any victim in any type of case.
The 2006 speech from the Hezbollah leader, how pivotal was that to your case?
I mean, every piece is pivotal, and again, it's always a building block. But I would say that was an important piece, not the most important piece, because as you know, we had to build this whole thing. But we believe that was an important piece. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.